Everybody, JC here with another TNI toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends 6-inch Guardians of the Galaxy comic book Ex Nihilo figure from Hasbro. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we see with all the Marvel Legends. You've got the Legend Series logo up at the top. The figure's clearly displayed in the window box. Down below you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy comic book logo. And then this figure is listed as a Cosmic Protector because it shares the same packaging as the Adam Warlock figure that also ships in this wave. So on one side you've got artwork for Ex Nihilo, and then the other side you've got artwork for Adam Warlock. On the back of the packaging you have images of both figures, a brief bio in multiple languages, and then down below a look at all the figures in the wave that you need to get in order to complete the Mantis Build-A-Figure. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now first of all, let me just say a big thanks to the folks at Hasbro for sending me this figure so that I could review it for you guys. So the only accessory this figure comes with is the left arm for the Mantis Build-A-Figure. Now we'll be taking a look at Mantis in our own review once we've looked at all the figures in this wave, so be sure to check back for that. Okay, so for the figure itself, this is probably my least favorite figure in the wave, and it's not that I have any real problem with the figure, but I'm just not a fan of this character. But the figure itself shares the same body mold primarily, same parts as the Hyperion mold. The hands are different, the head's different obviously, and the lower boots are different. But otherwise it's the same sculpt as Hyperion. And I think they've done a pretty good job capturing the character's likeness, even though I'm not a fan of the character. I think this figure does a pretty good job of capturing how he appeared in the comic book. Now, if you're not familiar with this character, and I wouldn't be surprised if you weren't, this guy first appeared in 2013 in Avengers Volume 5, #1. I don't know why he's being included in a Guardians of the Galaxy wave, because he really had nothing to do with the Guardians. He was actually a member of the Avengers for a short while, so he would be more fitting to be included in an Avengers wave. But I guess they just threw him in here since he is kind of a cosmic type character. But anyway, this guy first appeared. He basically, the original story, this guy and his sister named Abyss, and these guys are part of a race named the Gardeners, and they were created by another race called the Builders. And, you know, they have pretty serious powers. They can control and transform organic life. They can shoot energy blasts. They control plants and breathe fire out of their mouth even. So these guys are pretty heavy hitters on the cosmic scale. And essentially, him and his sister would go around to different planets trying to perfect them. And so they wanted to do that with humanity, and the Avengers end up confronting them. They go to Mars, and they terraform Mars, basically. But then they want to do the same thing to Earth, and the Avengers end up stopping them. Basically, because during the time of this story, Captain Universe was also part of the Avengers, a female version of Captain Universe, and she basically had the power to stop these guys, and later recommended that the Avengers recruit Ex Nihilo as a member of the Avengers, which he did actually join the team for a very short period. And basically he joined them to fight his creators, the Builders, which were another race of really powerful cosmic beings. And so they end up fighting and stopping those guys. And then eventually Ex Nihilo is killed confronting the Beyonders. And I really kind of quit reading the comics at that point. It just got all convoluted and everything. So I don't know. Again, just not a huge fan of this character, and really don't know why he's getting the figure treatment. But I do think the sculpting on the figure is actually pretty good, especially with the head sculpt. They capture the character's likeness. He's got the 2 horns on his head, and the one is shorter than the other, and that's how it appears in the comic book. And then he's got the 3rd eye on his forehead, and that's just painted with green, so not a lot of detail there. And then he's got like a big smirk on his face. And I like the metallic gold that they use throughout the figure. And then he's got this Omega symbol on his chest. And got a little bit of scratch work here. Looks like where one of the seams is where you can see some gold come through. But still, overall, I think they've done a pretty good job with the paint applications. On the back of the figure, it's just blank. Not a lot of detail other than just the gold. And again, this uses the Hyperion mold. So not sure where these hands come from. I've seen them before, but I can't place them off the top of my head. And then he actually, you can see his toes. He doesn't have any shoes or anything. He's just got basically his bare feet. So you've got his toes sculpted in there. Upon further checking, it looks like the hands actually come from the Venom figure. So this figure stands, if you count to the tip of its longest horn, about 8 inches tall. Here's a comparison with the Hyperion figure, and Nihilo is taller with the horns. And here's a comparison with the Death's Head 2 figure from this wave. Now technically, Nihilo is taller with the horns, but if you counted just to the top of their heads, then Death's Head 2 is actually the bigger figure. And then finally, just for one more comparison, here's the Marvel Now Captain America figure. So for articulation, you can turn the head to the left and to the right. He can look down good. Head's attached with the ball hinge joint, and he can look back pretty good as well. These horns are hard plastic, so they don't bend or anything. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good. He's got good rotation there. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a double hinged elbow, so pretty good bending there. He's got rotation at the wrist and hinges on the hand, so good up and down movement there. He's got the ab crunch joint, so he can crunch down good, and he can look back really good as well. He's got a waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits about that good. He can get his leg forward good, and really can't do his leg back very much, though. Does have a thigh swivel. It's a little tight, though. Then he has a double hinged knee, so he's got good bending at the knee. He's got a boot cuff swivel. Hinges on the feet, so good up and down movement with the feet, and he does have ankle pivot. And 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I don't think this is a bad figure. I think it captures the character's likeness pretty nicely. I'm just not a fan of this character. I think he's kind of pointless. So overall, this is kind of a pass figure for me, simply just because I'm not a fan of the character. But if you do like this character, or you just like gold people, then this is one you'll definitely want to check out. And you'll also need it for the Mantis Build-A-Figure piece. So the wave with this figure has started to hit shelves now. You can also pre-order it at Big Bad Toy Store, and it should start shipping soon. We'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. You can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.